I'm here today with Mary. How you doing, Mary?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Let me introduce Mary. Mary is one of our top loan officers. Mary's been with Morgan Financial for 4 years, coming up on 4 years. I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
Yeah. Mary has extensive background in banking and mortgage-related services, correct?
Yes, I do.
So I didn't just make that up?
No, you didn't.
Okay, good. She gets shy on this kind of stuff, so she's very humble. So I'm going to brag for her. In 2022, that was last year, which was a tough year in real estate, correct?
Yes, it was.
Mary closed over $40 million in loan volume, which put her in the top 4 of loan officers in Brevard County in like services. She did that, and this is the impressive thing. She did that while maintaining a 5-star customer rating. Did you know that?
I knew I got 5 stars, and I knew about the production. Yes.
Okay, good.
I just didn't know I was number 4. So.
Oh, it was somewhere around there. My numbers. Yes, I can prove this statistically. So that's about all I have for Mary. Mary's a great person as well. I got to add that in there. So Mary, why don't you tell us about you a little bit?
Perfect. So I'm actually a Brevard County native. I have lived here my whole life. That would be a Brevard County native.
Gotcha.
And
makes sense.
My dad's actually a Brevard County native as well. So born at Wusthof and Rockledge. I have 3 kids, been with my husband for 21 years, and been in the mortgage industry for about 14 years. So worked at a bank, moved my way up, then became a loan officer there, and then moved over to Morgan Financial.
Cool. My wife and I have been married for 21 years as well. So
really?
Very cool. Okay, so our goal today is to talk about the market, right? And changes in the market and things like that. I got lots of stats. I mean, median sales price in January, 346,000. Median days on market. This is interesting. In January, 78 days. Now, if we go back to December of 2022, median sales price was 352,000. So that median sales price is dropping a little bit. That doesn't mean the prices are dropping. That means the houses that people are buying, the prices of houses that people are buying have shifted just a little bit. Days on market. Now, this is a big difference. Days on market in December were 31 days on market. So we're seeing an increase in days on market. So the market it feels like it's shifting, right? And the stats and data support that. And as we know, the Fed has been meeting, and they again last week raised their benchmark interest rate. We actually saw a corresponding decrease in rates short term, and then conflicting data came out 2 days later about the jobs report came in way better than expected. So we have a lot of volatility in rates, right? But all that aside, Mary, what are you, in talking directly with clients every single day, what do you feel about the market? What are you hearing and seeing out there?
So what I try to do is just educate as far as from the home perspective with the clients, but I also try to excite them and let them know that this really, since we're saying it shifted, it's really becoming more of a market where buyers are able to get credits, to go under asking. So it's a really encouraging market for buyers.
Okay. Yeah. So, the rates might be higher than they were a year ago, but typically, I mean, I know you have a story you probably want to tell, but typically we don't see homes going well over list price, right? And so we see sellers willing to make some concessions and pay some closing costs or be more flexible with the dates, move-in times, and things like that.
Yeah. On average, I would say that's exactly what's going on. But I do have a story to tell. Whatever you want me to tell.
Yeah, I would like to hear that. So the market we think is shifting more towards a buyer's market, but tell me that story you just told me a few minutes ago.
Yes. So I had a client last night that put in an offer on a home, and they did an escalation up to $50,000 above asking.
Wow. And so did the offer get accepted?
We're still waiting, but it does sound promising.
But so they put an offer in on a property, multiple offer situation.
Yes.
Right. And today is, just so you don't think this is April of 2022. What is today?
March
February. We're still in February. Okay. Gosh. Anyway.
Can we cut that?
Not a chance. All right. So February 9th. So we're still in February, and we're getting, tighten up, we're getting multiple offer situations already, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And it was 50,000 over asking.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy, but it is what it is. So what else have you seen? What are customers saying right now? What are some of the pushback or objections or questions you're getting from customers, about the market, rates, things like that?
Well, it's like the sky is falling perspective. So from what they're seeing, they're going, oh my gosh, there's all this drop in price and the home values are going down and they're tanking. So it's just about re-educating them. It's not that they're tanking. They more than likely were not listed at the right price. So
Maybe it's not the agent. Maybe it's the customer saying, well, my neighbor sold their house for X amount of dollars in April of 2022.
yes.
And I want to list my house higher than that because time has passed. And we're seeing people bring back their listing prices and be more realistic.
Yes.
Okay, cool. What kind of questions on interest rates are you getting, or pushback, or understanding, or what's going on with the interest rates from a client perspective?
Well, really what we're seeing is the points perspective. So you can actually, there's discount pockets within the discount points and the buy downs.
What's a discount point?
A discount point would be 1% of the loan amount.
Okay. And what's that do?
It gets you a lower rate. So rates are a function of math, as
Oh, wow.
I mean, I've learned that from someone very smart.
Who? Not
You.
me. No, it couldn't be. That couldn't be the case. Someone else. But anyway, so discount. You're seeing that the discount points. You're seeing there's pockets like a discount 1 point or 1% of the loan amount now might be getting you more than it was in the past as far as a decrease in rate.
Exactly. So in the past, maybe 1/4%, now more like half, depending on the day.
Gotcha. And so how, like when a customer comes in and they want the lowest rate, what are some tips you can give them on how to get the best rates out there?
So what we'll always do is provide multiple options. So we're really educating them on how much it's going to save them every month. What's the cost? Does it make sense for you to buy it down? What's the recoup look like? So giving them the math behind it to see if it is the best idea for them or not.
Okay. And what are some other ways a client can set themselves up to get the lowest rate, outside of the options in which we give them? I mean, what advice would you give to someone who's looking to go buy a house right now in terms of qualifying and being prepared and getting the best rate?
So what advice I would give is if you're even thinking about buying a home, definitely talk to a mortgage professional, because what you're thinking might not be what it actually is. And as far as how to get the best rate, it's really a matter of what's your debt to income ratio, what's your credit score, how much are you putting down? So there's all those factors. So anybody that's just going to shoot out an interest rate to you right when you call, is that really the rate you're going to get or not?
Right. Well, yeah, there's a lot of tactics out there by salespeople in the mortgage industry. When, we get clients that call in and say, hey, what's your best rate? At that point, you can tell them anything under the sun if you're not doing things the right way.
Yes.
And so we see people that come in and say, oh, this so-and-so down the street told me I get a 4% interest rate. I mean, did they tell you how much that was going to cost? Did they pull your credit? Did they understand how much you're putting down? And even now, debt to income is going to play a role in credit, in looking at the pricing.
And did they know it was February of 2023? Because that's not consistent with the market either.
Right.
So
yeah, so there's, I guess here what we do is give people honest education and answers instead of playing games.
exactly.
Cool. All right, so I do have a few fun questions. Let me see if I can find. Oh, actually, before we get into that, so where do you think we're headed? I mean, do you think we're in a buyer's market? Do you think we're in a balanced market, a seller's market? And where do you think we're headed right now?
So if you would have asked me a couple of months ago, I would have been like, wow, this is like a buyer's market. It was different. I do feel like there has been a shift again. There has been much more interest. And as of what happened last night, I think there's going to be more to come of that because people are starting to understand that everything's kind of leveled out. We're not in an escalating rate environment. We're more in a cool down rate environment. And so there's much more interest now that it's not as volatile. Even though it still is volatile, it's not as drastic as it was before.
Gotcha. So they feel more comfortable, would you say?
Yes.
Okay. And they're more accepting of where the rates are and that the sky is not falling.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I didn't mean to lead you on those things. I mean, I have a tendency not to watch the news. However, when I turn it on, it makes me want to turn it off very quickly because only news out there is negative. And, you got to think, you got to get in your, in the clients and your partner's minds. And if that's what's going through their heads, that all these bad things are happening, without them realizing that that's how people sell advertising. Right.
Yep.
And the reality is that from my perspective, we're starting to see a flattening out of the rates. We're going to have some volatility. We'll have some good days and some bad days, but the trend, I believe, is going to be down. And I'll make another wild prediction. I've already put this out there a couple of times, but I think we're going to see rates back in the fours this year. But if we see rates in the fours, we're going to see that demand increase, and then we're going to see some of the problems that we had in the last couple of years increase. But that's neither here nor there. As far as I did have some other questions for you. Let me pull out my sheet here. So, Mary, what is your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is Office Space.
Office Space. Okay, what did you like about Office Space?
The satirical comedy about being in the office. It's just too close to home. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. We don't need to say anymore.
I could start quoting it, but
At
I
least
think
you didn't say The Office, and then I remind you of Michael Scott, because that would be terrible.
Then we would go on another tangent, because that is my favorite series.
That's right. That was not a movie. Okay. Good point. All right. What is your favorite book?
7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Cool. Stephen Covey, great book. And who inspires you, or who inspired you or inspires you the most on a day-to-day basis?
I would say my family. They're my why, the reason I wake up in the morning. So
awesome. Good to hear. That's all we got. So, Mary, any final words?
Who inspires you the most?
Look, I'm the one interviewing here. You don't need to.
What is your favorite book?
I will divulge all these things. My favorite book is How to Win Friends and Influence People, business-wise. My favorite movie, that's a tough one. It could be like Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, those ones.
Good, yeah.
Or North Shore, which is a cheesy surf movie from the 80s. Very funny. Not funny. And who inspires me most? My dad has helped inspire me greatly through my life, my family, and that's pretty much all I got on this. So.
Thank you for answering my question.
Yeah, gosh. Sorry. Any final parting words?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, good.
And
Thank
actually,
God.
I do.
Oh, shoot. Here we go.
My end words are just be encouraged by everything going on around with the market. The sky is not falling, and there's a lot of positive things going on. So hopefully that inspires everybody to at least call somebody and talk about mortgages.
Well, I hope you call Mary or someone else here at Morgan Financial. But if you have to call someone else, just make sure they're local and do a really good job. That's all we got for today. So thanks for tuning in. We'd love to hear what you thought about today. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, put them all below, above, wherever it may be, or however you're watching this. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. It would come right to you if you subscribe. So hit that subscribe button. That's about all I got. You can go to our website over at morganfinancial.net/ keeping your business on track. That's all one word, keeping your business on track, to watch all of our expanded trainings and things like that. So we have a lot of resources on that area. So that's all we got. We'll see you next time.